What's up, Ty Mac? What's up, Stephanie baby? What's happening? What's happening? What's up, Clarissa? Clarissa? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yo, I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to go on at 2 like I originally said I was going to be able to. I don't know if y'all heard it or not, but I was supposed to come on at 2, but I wasn't able to do 2 o'clock because I forgot the parade was in town. Y'all see, I had to show some titty to get these right here. I had to show some skin for these beads. But yeah, so y'all, we have a couple of good stories to go on to today. I know this is like a really random time. I was wondering if I should come on at 7 instead. But I guess we here. We in this bitch. We in this bitch. Y'all, we got a couple of stories that we're going to be doing today. Are y'all ready? How you doing, sweetness? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm so tipsy right now. Bro, that St. Patrick's Day parade we just had, it was so many people up there. Oh, it was so many people up in there. Thank you for that heart. What's happening, Nomadic? Sweetness, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really, really good. I'm tipsy. That's why I got my water here. But we're going to do 2 stories today, y'all. We got 2 stories that we're going to be doing. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for that goat. 2 stories. Yes, one story is a story that I actually posted on my the TikTok already, and I posted a longer version on YouTube already. But I wanted to actually talk with you guys about that particular story because it's wild. It's truly wild, and it was completely unexpected. It was completely unexpected. Blue, you ain't missed out. I just jumped on here. I ain't even been here for a couple minutes yet. What up, Miss B and T Ram? What's happening? What's happening? Quintiana, yes, you made it to the live. We all up in here. We all up in here. I'm gonna get started in just a few minutes, and we gonna get started on these stories, y'all. The stories that the stories that I'm finna talk about today. The first story, like I said, is a story that I've already done on my TikTok, and I've already done on put a longer version on my YouTube. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I didn't even tell the whole story on my TikTok or my YouTube just because there was so much to kind of go over. And y'all, it's crazy. It's truly crazy. What's up, Precious? Yeah, you are early for once. You are early. Thank you for that gift. I appreciate you. I said it right, Quintiana. Hey, that's what's happening. Brittany, I'm in Jackson. I just went to the Jackson St. Patrick's parade, and it was rough. It was a lot of people up in there. It was fun. It was fun though. But yeah. All right, y'all. It is 5:07. I'm finna get started in about 2 minutes. We're gonna be talking about Jose Reyes. That's gonna be the first story. Which once again, I have a short clip of that, a short version of that story on my TikTok. But I'm going to do a longer version today. And then we're going to be talking about another guy. I'm not going to tell you his name. But we're going to be talking about another guy. This happened a few years ago. And yeah, I think this other guy's already released. Brittany with an N, with an I. Yes, I'm in Mississippi. I'm down here in Mississippi. In Mississippi, as they say down here. All right, y'all. It is 5:08 p.m. Thank you for them roses. I don't have a lot right now. A lot of people on right now, but I know this is a random time. This ain't the time that I normally will come on. I don't think I've ever been here on a Saturday, but I'm not gonna be able to do it on Sunday, on tomorrow. So I'm gonna be going ahead and do it today. What's up, KD? What's happening? Beautiful 5678900. We're going to be doing 2 different cases. We're going to be talking about Jose Reyes, and we're going to talk about the second person, which I'm going to tell you in just a second. David Criato, or whatever his name is. We're going to be talking about them. and we're going to be doing those right there. It is 5:09. I'm getting started in 1 minute. I put me first. I literally just came from the parade. I may go back. It depends. Well, I think the parade is done. It's just people walking around right now. But yes, I just came from the parade. You see all these? You see all these right here? See all these? I had to do some strange for these bees out there. I didn't know they did. It was my first St. Patrick's Day parade. It was pretty fun. JDW 1991. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? I'm at work. I understand. Put me first. I understand. I actually had to take the day off because I don't really get a whole lot of days off of my job. So I took the day off so I could do that. All right, y'all. It is 5:10. All right. I'm about to go ahead and get started. I know it ain't a whole lot on this particular live, a whole lot of y'all on this particular live, but once again, I know it's a random time. This is not a time that I normally go live, but I still wanted to talk about this story today because I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow. All right? Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? This story is I'm not going to lie, this story is gruesome. Yo, the stuff that happened. Oh, gosh. I'm going to try, when I talk about this story, I'm going to try my best. I want to try my absolute best to tell you what actually happened without TikTok kicking me off. Because when I tell you this gruesome, gory, and you know, Ray Baby 94 actually submitted this to my DMs, and I came across it, and I looked into the story, and I was like, whoa. So this story is going to have devil worship and satanic, symbolisms in it. This story is dealing with abuse. There is substance abuse in this story. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot that's going on in this story. It's going to be a lot going on in this story. So yeah. If y'all are ready, I'm about to go ahead and get started. First, let me know where y'all at right now. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? I know I ain't got that many of y'all up in here right now, but I need y'all to tell me. I say Houston, Dallas, Florida, Houston, Pennsylvania, Bama, New York, West Virginia, Gulfport. What's happening? Oklahoma. What's up, Crystal? I see McGee, Alabama, Detroit, Dallas, Northside Drive, and Mississippi. That's what's happening. Nebraska, Angel from Cali, Turner from Arlington, Keisha from Milwaukee, Joanna from the UK, ain't it really late for y'all right now? Mika from North Carolina, Free from Florida, Tommy Tomato from Nigeria, ain't it late for y'all right now? Gosh, JoJo from Jersey, NU from Atlanta, Sweetness from South Carolina, Alexa from Jamaica, Versatile from Memphis, Tasha from Washington State. That's just JoJo. It's only 10:12. Oh, I guess it ain't that late. Alexa from Jamaica, Ash from South Carolina, Essence from Oklahoma. Good. Trinidad and Tobago, Pizza Dark Chocolate. I want to go there one day. I really want to go there. All right, y'all. And the next thing, before we get started into the store, what are y'all drinking? I have been drinking really for the last 3 days. I haven't had 3 days off of my job, and I don't know. So I've been drunk for 3 days. So right now I'm drinking water. This is the worst water, actually. I hate the Sunny, but I'm drinking water right now. Water, ice cream, tequila. I'm gonna throw up if I just some more liquor. Sprite, strawberry kiwi. The Sunny, I know it was the last case scenario. I went to a gas station, that's all they had. Tea, water, been drinking since yesterday. Jennifer, me and you are twins. Noodles, Belvedere, what's that? Tommy Tomato, malt. As in liquor? Oh gosh, Shay, I'm having wine. I got some of that over there. Sonya, Dr. Pepper, Versatile Tea, Pure Life. That's some good water right there. All right. Let's go ahead. And let's get started. So, I posted this video on my TikTok. I posted a short version of this video on my TikTok, but y'all know I'm shadow banned on TikTok, so I don't even think I got 1,000 views on it at this point in time. So I want to be talking about Jose Reyes. How many of you guys have heard about Jose Reyes? Does anyone know about Jose Reyes? Has anyone heard about this story? Has anyone heard about Jose Reyes? And that's crazy because, like I said, I posted a video on TikTok. Y'all see how TikTok be doing me, right? I post stuff and they don't even let y'all know that I put something on there. But yeah, Jose Reyes. And really, we're going to add. So this is Jose Reyes. There's Jose Reyes. That man, I'm not going to say is odd looking. I'm going to say he's unique looking. Very, I don't know how to explain it. But that's Jose. We're going to add on this right here, Victor. Victor, I think it's Alas. It could be Alice. It's Alas. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Victor. So we're going to add Victor to this as well. We got Jose on the left and Victor on the right. This right here is Coranne. She's the victim in all this. So let's go ahead and get started with this story. Once again, letting you guys know this story is going to be dealing with devil worship, satanic things. It's also going to be, it's very brutal once we get to the meat of the story. So when I get to that point, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know definitely. But, you know, if you don't want to hear that, especially because these are all under 18 by the time this happened. Also, y'all know I'm Shadow Band. Liking this live is the best way to help me out. It's the best free way to help me out. Thank you, Willow, for those roses you sent me. I definitely do appreciate that as well. But if y'all want to help a dude out for free, tap the screen. I would love to get at least 100,000 likes for this live right here. But let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to go back in time to February of 2014. At that point in time, I think I graduated high school. I was out of high school maybe like 3 years at that point. Golly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been out of high school for, whatever. But yeah, we're back in February of 2014. Now, Coranne, the girl in the middle, she was determined to be, she was a teenager. I don't know if I've ever skipped school. Not like against my parents' will. I've asked my parents, like, hey, can I stay home? 9 times out of 10, they be like, yeah, because I did really good in school and I really didn't do nothing. So most of the time, if I was, if I asked to stay home, my parents would. I didn't ask to stay home often. Maybe like twice a year or something like that. But, teenagers, you can skip school. Or not you can, but teenagers skip school. She skipped school one day. She woke up one day. The sky was, nice and pretty. And she was like, you know what? I don't want to go to school. I don't want to deal with it. So she didn't go to school. Now, with a lot of schools, especially now, and I know at the time when I was in school, if you do not show up to school, when they do the attendance and you are not there, and there is no excuse, like if the school has no prior acknowledgement that you were not going to be there, then they will contact your parents. The school will contact your parents. That's what the school would do. So what happened was when she did not show up for school, the school actually contacted her parents or her dad. She stayed with her dad in these apartment complexes. And this was in Clear Lake, Texas. So the dad's one day just minding his business, yada, yada, yada. And while he was at work or whatever, he got a phone call from the school. The school, he answers it. It's a school. They were like, hey, your girl ain't show up for school today. So the dad, he was like, what you mean she ain't show up for school? She left? And they was like, well, she ain't show up, so I don't know what to tell you. So the dad was pissed off. And when he finally was able to get to Coranne, by the time, she got home, whatever, they had it out. He yelling, he's screaming, he's doing all this type of stuff with it. And she's yelling back, because, whatever, I'm a teen. She's 15 years old at the time. She thinks she knows better, as we all did at that point. So now the dad had got to her, and it got so bad, he told her, he was like, all right, look, you grounded. He said, you are grounded. Go to your room. Do not come out of your room. You're going to be in that room for the rest of the night. That's what he told her. He was like, go in your room. He said, you better not come out of the room. I better not see you. I better not smell you. I better not hear you for the rest of the night. And so then she went to her room. She slammed the door. The typical type stuff. Now, even though, she was up inside the room and she was, upset, after a few minutes, the dad, a dude's got to eat. He's got to cook. So he wanted to go and get some food. He went to the grocery store. Now, Coranne here, As soon as Coranne realized that the dad had left, Coranne actually, she was sitting there thinking, and she got more mad, and she was like, you know what? F him. I'm grown. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So Coranne, as soon as her dad left, she left the house too. She was like, you know, I'm just gonna go. It is what it is. So Coranne left the house. Yeah. This. I would have been too scared. My dad didn't play that type of stuff. All right, you talking about the dude that yelled and screamed at me when I was in my 20s because when I was in the walking in their house. I had walked down the hallway. I said, "Oh my gosh, Becky, look at her butt." My daddy came around that corner yelling and screaming, "What you yelling for? What you talking about? Don't be saying that in my house." Yeah, my daddy, I'm telling you, the man went off, and I was in my 20s, so I wouldn't play no stuff like that. Not with my daddy, but obviously, she got that type of relationship. She can, she's like, "Shut up, Dad," or whatever she did at that point. So yeah. She stormed out of her room, she left, and it is what it is. Now, she actually had this friend. His name was Randy Hurtado. I don't have a picture of Randy. He's not one of the people that we need to know how he looks like. But Randy was her friend. So she had been contacting Randy before she had left her apartment. And by the way, this whole story takes place relatively close in proximity to each other. Like, these are all apartment buildings that are not too far away from each other, walking distance, okay? So she hits Randy, or she texts him, or whatever, however she contacted him. And, she told him whatever, you want to meet up. And Randy was like, cool. There was this parking lot that was very close by to their apartment, or to her apartment building. So Randy was like, I'll meet you over there. Since she couldn't be at home, or she didn't want to be at home, he's like, I'll meet you over there. So Randy Hurtado actually showed up. He went to the parking lot, and she walked over to the parking lot, and, they kind of, hey, what's happening? What's going on? Now, here's what happened. So. When Randy got on over there, she's 15. She's like a bad girl. She's in her bad girl era. So she decided, you know what? Let's do some substances. Why not? Why can't we do substances? And Randy was like, shoot, yeah, but I ain't got none. But he was like, you know what? That's fine. Randy actually knew a dealer who would get substances for him. So they actually went over to this dealer's house. They skirted on over there, and they went to get the devil's lettuce. And then they got this. It's a medicine that rhymes with Panax. I don't know if I can say that on here, so I'm not going to say what. I mean, I guess it's just the name of the medicine. But y'all know TikTok funny, and they don't like me. So you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. All right. So he was like, yeah, so they got some of this medicine from the dealer and the devil's lettuce, and then they went back to where they were at the parking lot, and they decided to utilize the substances that they got. So now they both were using the devil's lettuce, light it up, take a puff, pass it to me now. That was all fine and dandy. But the medicine, Randy, he, for whatever reason, he was like, I'm a boy, I can handle it, I don't want you messing with it. So Randy actually was the one who took the medicine, and he did not let her take any of the medicine, okay? Because whether she was lightweight, I'm not sure what the whole thing is with them, but he was like, no, you're not going to take it, I'm going to take it. So he took the medicine, and they both used the devil lettuce. You talking about Rain-X. Yeah. Rain-X. We're going to call it Rain-X. So, yeah. So, after they did that, they're sitting in the parking lot. Randy, he starts talking to his friend. So, he had a friend who is Victor and his cousin Franklin. All right. So, Victor is Big Victor over here. This is Victor. Okay? Victor. Okay. Yeah, this is Victor. All right? Darlisha Joe, I ain't been on too long. We really still at the beginning. I'm just setting up the framework for you. All right? All right. So yeah, Miss Creates, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be available on Sunday, so I decided to do it today. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But yeah. So they got to the parking lot. Just a recap for a few people that's just jumped up in here. Coranne had an argument with her dad because she skipped school. The dad grounded her, and then the dad went to the grocery store to get some food. As soon as the dad left, she said, "I'm a bad bitch," and so she dipped. She called her friend, whose name was Randy Hurtado, and they went to a parking lot nearby her apartments. When they got there, they used the devil's lettuce, and then Randy took medicine that rhymes with Panax. Y'all know what I'm saying? It starts with the third to last letter of the alphabet. All right. So now you all caught up. That's all I said for now. Okay. So now Randy calls his friend Victor. Victor is this big bitch over here. This bro. Now Victor, he's actually a friend of Randy, and he comes with his cousin Franklin. Okay, Victor comes with his cousin Franklin. So now we got 4 people in this parking lot. We got Coranne, we got Victor, we got Franklin, and we got Randy. They're all in this parking lot. A whole bunch of group of teens, doing up to no good. All right. So when they got there, they was like, "Oh, what are y'all doing here?" And they were like, "Nothing. We're just doing substances." And they was like, "Cool, we want to do substances too. We're teenagers with no futures ahead of us. Let's all do it." And they're like, "Cool." So they actually got some more of the medicine. They got some more of the medicine that rhymes with Panax. And then they started popping like pimples. They just, speaking of which, I got a big pimple on the side of my face. And it's terrible. But they popping them things, and everybody like, cool, except for Coranne. Now, Coranne, she's the main bitch in this scenario. And she's like, "You know what? Y'all ain't finna be leaving me out just because I'm a girl. Are y'all sexist? Just because I'm a female, I can't take medicine?" And they were like, "No, Coranne, it ain't got nothing to do with you being a female. You just a weak bitch. And we don't want you tweaking out on us." And she was like, "Sir, I want some." And so finally, they decided they was going to let her have some of the medicine. Okay? They're going to let her have some of the medicine. And she was finally happy about that. So that's cool. That's cool. And this is around 5 p.m. Around 5 p.m. now, that's when they finally decided to let her out. Because, she wants to prove she's not a weak bitch. Now, everyone's now been taking this medicine, okay? Everybody's been taking this medicine. Thank y'all for the likes and thank y'all for the gifts. I do appreciate that. Trini, I see you just elevated up in here. Congratulations, Trini. Thank you there, Regan, for sending those flowers. And y'all, thank y'all for liking this live. We're at right at 49,000 likes. Likes are a free way to help your boy out. Let's tap that screen. Let's keep it going, okay? All right. So now, everybody been taking medicine at this point in time. Now they getting a little cold. It's, oh, thank you for that hat. No cap. I just bought a cowboy hat like that. A fake one. It's from Party City. Don't ask me why. But yeah, so now the temperature is getting cold. Everybody's up in there. They freezing. And the medicine ain't really doing its job. So they're like, "Oh, what are we going to do here?" I know. Let's smoke more of the devil's lettuce. So they light up. And they continue smoking the devil's lettuce. They utilize whatever it is, and they, in an attempt to warm themselves up, but they quickly realize the devil is a liar. And his lettuce doesn't really do that for him. It really don't do that trick. So guess what they decided to do? Unless you know the story, you're not gonna figure this out. But guess what they decided to do at this point in time? It's a very logical answer, though. It's a logical answer. I want y'all to answer. I'm asking y'all a question. What did they decide to do? I see someone said that Polly. I'm not gonna say that. Ain't nobody gonna answer? No. I see the logic in a lot of these answers. But no, The most logical thing, and this is literally a logical answer. If it's you're outside and it's getting cold, they was like, hey, let's go inside. I know that was kind of a trick question, but yeah, let's go inside. It's hot. It's cold out here. It's cold in this bitch. So someone said a train. Smix. What? No. No. They went inside. I said it's a logical answer, y'all. Crystal, I ain't see you say that, Crystal. We wouldn't guess that. I'm kidding. I actually understand that because y'all know the type of stories I be talking about. I be talking off, it be random stuff. Nikki J said, that's how you gonna keep warm. What was your answer, Nikki J? Boom, boom, go home. Cool. All right. So yes, they decided that they were gonna go home. They will not go home, but they decided they want to go indoors. So they in this parking lot that they were in, there's a nearby apartment complex. And there's a woman in this complex who she is known for allowing teenagers and young kids to come over her house so they could party. I don't know another way to play it. Now, because when I posted the video, I was like, who does that? That's weird. I'm not saying, because when I was in high school, I actually had a friend who was Colombian. He was Colombian, so it's a different culture. His family did not care about him drinking. They was like, just do it at our house. That way you ain't driving. We know you're going to be safe. And whenever all of his friends were over, anybody was over there, the parents would look after us, and it was cool. That's different. This woman was not related to now one of these kids. This was a random old broad. She was a middle-aged woman named Candy. And I guess Candy was her real name. I would have thought it was a stripper name, but apparently it was probably her real name. But Candy she was over there, and she told her, she was like, hold on. Yeah, I think I need a prop for this. Y'all stay here. Stay here. Are y'all finna go somewhere? Y'all finna go somewhere? Stay here. I'm finna grab some. Stay here. Eh. All right. All right. So Candy, I don't know if y'all saw the video or not, but Candy, now I don't know how Candy looked like. I believe just from how Candy's character in this story, when I imagine her this real skinny white lady with blonde hair, saggy skin, and a smoker's cough. So apparently I can't do none of the other stuff, but let me see this. She probably sound like this. So they went up to the door, they knocked on the door, and they was like, Candy, open up. And Candy opened up, she was like, what? Hold on. What y'all want? So Candy opened the door. She saw the kids there. She was like, what the hell y'all want in my house? And they were like, hey, Candy, we are teenagers and we can't go home, so let us come over your house and do the stuff that our parents will let her do. And she was like, hold on. She was like, fine. Get y'all young asses up in here. Get your asses up in the house. Get it. So she let all the kids up inside the house. And when they got into the house, Candy, not only did she let them continue using the devil's lettuce, she let them take more of the medicine, and she gave them liquor. Liquor! A middle-aged woman, y'all, who ain't related to now one of these kids. I had saw it coming, they was like, well, at least she was making sure everybody was, okay. Whatever. So yeah, she offered them, liquor, and they got sloshed. I mean, like they was all sloshed. So now they're up there in the house. They're doing all this stuff. They're just kind of sitting there partying and chilling. Like, keep in mind, Coranne took the medicine around 5 p.m. Okay, so now between 5 and around like 8:30, Candy, she looks over and she sees Coranne, and Coranne is toe up. So she's over there. I'm about to act a few characters here. So she's over there, and she's talking to one of the boys. She looks, she's at, hey boy. And the other boy, I figured he probably had this on. Maybe he was like this. He was like, what's happening, lady? What's going on? And Candy turned around and she told him, golly, man, I gotta do all this just to tell a story? Hey, what's wrong with that little bitch over there? Is she alright? and they told her, they was like, now keep in mind, everybody, they toe up at this point. He looked at it, he's like, I think she's good. I think she's good. Are you good over there? And actually, I think everybody's like Mexican, so maybe he was like, I don't know, man. I think she's good. I don't know, Holmes. Maybe. I don't know, Holmes. I think she's good. And finally, so the Candy, she went over to Coranne. She was like, look here, bitch. You toe up. Go and get your little ass up in my room and lay down until you done. So Coranne, she found that she was like, all right. So Coranne, she talking to Candy, and Coranne also let Candy know because her dad most likely was gonna lock her out the house because she snuck out when she was grounded, and by this point she's sure her dad's came back. So she was like, my dad's most likely not gonna let me back in, so I really don't have any place to go right now. So Candy was like, look, you can just stay in my house. All right. Now around what's up, Custom Designs? Let Twins fan page. It's an incense. It's an incense. I'm not sure what smell this is. But anyway, so around 9 p.m., Jose Reyes show up. And y'all, I think I realized what Jose looked like. I'm going to show you another picture of Jose. Because I had another picture. So Jose, y'all see him? Y'all know who he look like? He looks like one of those seals, some sea lions. Hold on. I could dress up like Jose right now. I was really trying to figure out what he looked like. Oh gosh. Hold on. Stay right there. Stop, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. All right. Jose. Let's see what Jose look like. So Jose's sitting there. He comes to the house. I'm about to actually show y'all, just so y'all can have a good demonstration of how Jose look like. Hold on. Y'all don't see Jose. Hold on. Stay right there. I ain't gotta, do I look like him? Do I look like him? Wait, I gotta. Do I look like him? Wait, I'm trying to do the loop. I think that's him. Anyway, so Jose showed his ass up at the house. Now, Jose is sitting there. Jose comes to the house and he's sitting there, he's yelling for Coranne. Now, I was not able to figure out why he was yelling for Coranne. I'm pretty sure they knew each other. That's pretty evident. I'm not exactly sure how they knew each other. Just based on the context, it seemed like they were friends somewhat, but I'm not entirely sure how. I'm not entirely sure. So he came to the house. He was like, "Where's Coranne? Where's Coranne?" And Candy, oh gosh. You know, all right, before I get to that, so now I got some other people to do. So Candy gets up inside the house. Well, Candy, she's in the room with Coranne. It's around 9 p.m. Coranne's laying down. Candy's also laying down inside the room with Coranne. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think happened because it was a little muddled. And I said this in the video just based on how the evidence was laid out. It was a little muddled on exactly how the events, but when I looked at it and I try to make it make sense, I think this is the best way that it is what it is. All right. So Jose showed up. Now Jose and Victor came looking for Coranne. Okay. Yep. Jose and Victor, they were looking for Coranne. When they were there, Randy, you remember her friend Randy Hurtado, because he was there too. And Franklin was there. So Randy, he was actually getting ready to leave at this point in time. He had already contacted his mom. His mom was coming over to the apartment to pick up Randy from Candy's house. So Randy is at this a teenager, is at this middle-aged woman's house, drinking, using the devil's lettuce, and using medicine. And he contacts his mom to come pick him up. She's like, okay. And so the mom is just coming over to pick this man up from the house. I don't know if there was any type of, altercation with that one, but whatever. So by the time Jose showed up, Randy was already getting ready to leave. And Randy is talking to, he's there for a little bit. And he's talking to Jose and Victor. And he was like, look, can you just take her home? She doesn't stay too far from here. Just knows apartments over there. Just take her home. And so Jose and Victor and then Franklin, they were like, yeah, we'll take her home. Cool. So right after this, Randy's mom showed up. Randy got out. He left the apartment. He got into his mom's car and he left. Okay. So Randy has officially left the story. All right. Randy's gone. So now we got Jose and Victor and Franklin. Now Franklin's inside the house doing whatever. Jose and Victor are looking for Coranne, which Coranne. I'm gonna bring Coranne back up here so y'all know who I'm talking about here. It's Coranne. So Coranne is in the room with Candy, sleeping it off. So now, after Randy left, Jose and Victor, they go into the room. They go into the room looking for Candy. Now, Candy is in the room sleep. And she wakes up. She's in the room sleep and she wakes up. So she wakes up. Hold on. And she goes there. I don't know how to change this. Whatever. So she wakes up. Huh? She got that smoker's cough, which I believe is a smoker's cough. I actually don't know how Candy sound. But she wakes up. She's like, huh? What are y'all doing in my room? And so Jose and Victor are inside the room. And Jose tells her, I'm looking I'm looking for Coranne. Where's Coranne? Can bring Coranne out here. Now, I'm not putting these clothes back on. It is what it is. So now, Candy in there yelling at Jose to get out the room. And she's yelling at Jose to get out the room. She's like, you can't be up in here with two fine young women sleeping in this bed like this. Get out of here. And by this point, Coranne wakes up. Now, when Coranne wakes up, it's kind of explained that Victor is there and the other dude is inside the room, and she's like, yeah, I'm about to get them to leave up out of here. And so, at this point in time, okay, cool. So at this point in time, Coranne makes the decision. She was like, okay, I'm going to be leaving in just a little bit. I can't go home. I don't know if I'm going to stay here. She said, thank you for the butterfly. Thank you for that. Y'all, we're at 76,000 likes. Let's go ahead and finish it up. Let's finish it up. All right. So now, Coranne, she was like, look, okay. She was like, hey, I have a friend, Jocelyn, who stays in this apartment complex. She said, I'm not going to go home. I don't think I can make it. My dad's most likely not going to let me in. She said, I'm just going to go over to my friend's Jocelyn's house. Now, Candy was a little concerned because, Coranne was messed up at this point. And she was like, you sure? And Coranne was like, yeah, I'm fine. So then, that's when Victor and Franklin and Jose, so these two plus Franklin, that's Jose and that's Victor plus Franklin. So that's when Victor and Franklin and Jose, they decided, like, look, we'll walk you to your friend's house. And Candy was a little concerned because, once again, considering the situation, she was like, I don't know. And like, yeah, we're just walking. She's in the apartment complex, so fine, cool. So, and just a little bit after that, they actually get, it was Franklin and Victor. They actually got Coranne because she can't really walk. So she got one arm on one boy, one arm on the other boy, and they are walking her out of the apartment. Candy watches them walk away. She watches them walk away. I'm assuming from the door. I wouldn't think from a window or something, but she watches them leave. She walks all four of them walk away, and she's assuming that they're taking her to her friend Jocelyn's house. Okay. All right. So now the story is about. I'm about to tell you right now. The story is about to get a little dark. All right. I'm sorry about the words I'm going to have to use. It's going to be very childish, but of course, with TikTok, I got to watch my words. I got to make sure that I can tell y'all the story without it getting blocked or censored or whatever. But get ready for the story to take a turn because it's about to get a little dark. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready for the story to get dark? Are y'all ready? Thank you, Shonda Deshay. All right. I'm gonna have y'all take a sip when we get to the point. But okay. So now, Coranne, she was messed up. The girl, she can't really walk. Her words are slurred. It is what it is. So the three boys, they, instead of taking her to Jocelyn's apartment, they're thinking, yo, we got this girl. She ain't in her right head. They some teenagers. Their hormones are racing. And they're terrible motherfucking people. Let's just say that. So they was like, okay, let's figure out what we're gonna do. Like, Now so they was like, okay, let's figure out what we're gonna do. Like, Now, when they were doing it, they were like, okay, well, where can we go? Where we gonna do this and yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. Now they thought for a second. In the apartment complex, there was an abandoned apartment. I don't know if it was a whole apartment building, but there was an abandoned apartment. Okay, this apartment was abandoned for a while, and the teenagers, which included Jose and Victor and a few other people, they actually knew about this apartment building that was abandoned, or apartment that was abandoned, where you could just go in You can have all the privacy you want to, and they would go into the closet because there was a big walk-in closet, I'm assuming, and you can go up in there and you could utilize all the devil's lettuce. You can use all the devil's lettuce that you want to use, and you have all the privacy that you want to do. They're like, okay, so yeah, we're going to do something. Let's do it there. Now, keep in mind, they're not planning on doing devil's lettuce because they were just in Candace's house. They could have did all the devil's lettuce there. But you get what I'm saying. So they go to the apartment. They open the door. They hobble Coranne inside the apartment. They go to the closet and whatever. Now, Franklin is there too. Franklin is not pictured, but Franklin is there. Now, he in his mind, he's thinking, well, maybe they're really not. Maybe we're just going to go smoke some more, whatever. And then he saw them doing some freaky shit. He was like, oh, I don't think I want to do this. So Franklin actually was like, you know what? No, never mind. Peace out. And Franklin left. He left these three in the closet. Up in the closet. Inside this apartment building. Now Franklin, remember Franklin is Victor's cousin. This is Victor. Franklin is Victor's cousin. They actually stay together at Victor's, I guess his parents' house. And he stayed over there and they stayed in the same room. So he went home to their room. I hope they weren't in the same bed, but it didn't specify. Okay, it didn't specify, but I hope they weren't in the same bed. But they were definitely in the same room. So when he got to the house, he got in the room. He went to sleep. Okay. That is what we're gonna do for right now. Now, while he was asleep, later that night, he heard a noise inside the room. So he wakes up and he sees the window inside the bedroom being open. The window is, the two people that come through the window is Jose and Victor. Okay? Now, Jose is upset. Jose, he's still angry. The same like, "Rrr, rrr." That's Jose. He's upset. He's upset. Something about that is really pissing him off. And Franklin don't know what it is. Victor is comes to the room and Victor just kind of like, he's just kind of looking around like whatever it is, what it is. And they all start to talking and yada yada yada. After a little bit, Jose leaves and Franklin stays up and he talks to Victor. Okay? That was what happened. Now 4 days later, there was this dude, his name is Arturo. Arturo? I don't know do I know his last name? Arturo Flores. Maybe it's Flores. Arturo Flores. So Arturo, how he fits into this picture. So Arturo actually knows really everybody here. He knows Jose. He knows Coranne because Coranne was in the apartment. Coranne would go to the apartment that was across from him. Where Candy was, he knew Coranne from Candy because Coranne was always over there. So he knew her and he considered them friends. He considered them friends and friendly, whatever. He knew Victor and he also knew Franklin. These are all teens, by the way, okay? But Arturo, he wakes up. This is 4 days later. Now, Arturo, he was, by the way, Arturo was actually the one who discovered or he knew about the abandoned apartment. He's the one that actually showed Jose and Victor and Franklin all of them about the abandoned apartment so they can actually have some alone time and utilize the devil's lettuce when they needed some time to utilize the lettuce. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Y'all, I want to pause real quick and say, y'all, we're almost at 100,000. We're at 97,000 likes. I appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and get it to 100,000. And, I don't want to have this conversation again. Okay? I don't want to have this conversation again. But, all right. So, I'm hitting them like crazy. Thank you, I'm Keto. There's a special place for you in my heart. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Thank you for that swan. Mandaboo. And we're at 100,000 likes. Hey, must be the money. Hey, y'all gonna get me hype up in here. I love all of y'all. I love all of y'all. I love y'all. And thank you, J Rock Box, for a donut. I love donuts. I really love donuts. I ain't had a donut in a long time, but I love them still. Thank you for that donut. Easy work. Easy work. How you get them beads? I was at the St. Patrick's Day parade. I had to show some titty, but I got some beads. Anyway, let's go back to the story. Back to the store, okay? Back to the store. Bridge, you missed about half of it, but I'm doing another one right after this one. All right? So, Arturo, back to Arturo. He showed them the apartment where they can go and utilize the devil's lettuce. So, it's about 4 days later. Arturo, he can't sleep. He's up in a room. He's a teenager. You know, he's a user just like everybody else of the devil stuff. And he's like, you know what? What's the best thing I can do to help me go to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning? What do y'all think it was? What do y'all think? Based off what I just told you about him. I see a lot of good answers. I see a lot of good answers. And a lot of y'all got it right. The devil's lettuce. Exactly. He wanted to utilize the devil's lettuce. So he was like, you know what? I can't sleep. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to utilize the devil's lettuce. And so that's what he decides to do. At 4 o'clock in the morning, he gets his ass up. He gets his lettuce together. He packs up. He goes down the street. He gets to the apartment, opens the door, swings the door open, and he looks and he makes, oh, thank you for that TikTok hat. No cap. He turns that door, he looks inside and he's like, he sees a body on the floor. Not the song by My Chemical Romance. He actually sees an actual body on the floor. Now, when he saw the body, he didn't immediately just jump and run, okay? What he decided to do, he went inside, he walked up to it, he was like, he got up on it like this, so you can barely sniff it. He was like, and then he saw that the face was gone. The face was gone. No face. No face on the body. So he's sitting there thinking, he thinks it's an older lady. He can't tell whose it is. The face, when I tell y'all the face is gone. So at this point, he books it. He runs about the apartment, but instead of calling the police, he decided to go to the apartment of these brothers. Oh, thank y'all very much. Thank you very much for that Elvis thing right there. So he ran to the apartment of these brothers. Now these brothers were both IT engineers, and they stayed in the apartment. So I'm trying to figure out why the hell are IT engineers staying I guess apartments you ain't gotta worry about like a whole lot of maintenance. But I think IT engineers, they make a lot of money. I don't know. But both of the brothers are IT engineers. One of them has medical experience, and the other brother actually has military experience. And if I'm correct, I think that second brother was actually still in the military. So he went to them instead. Okay? He went to them instead. When he showed up, hold on, I gotta verify that I'm still on this live, even though they see me on here talking. Oh wait, what they doing that for? Okay, cool. All right. So he goes over there. He's banging on the door. So one of the brothers, they wake up because he hear him banging on the door. He's like banging on the door, and it's early in the morning. Keep in mind, because he went there like 4:30 in the morning by the time he got there. So it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So he banging on the door, boom, boom, boom. So one of the brothers goes to the door, opens the door, and he's in there, he's stammering. They're like, hey, man, what's going on? I thought he's in there, and all he's saying straight up is, she's hurt bad. She needs help. She's hurt bad. And they're like, who's hurt? And he just keeps stammering. He won't tell them what he's seen, which he was traumatized. I can imagine if it would happen to me. I don't know, but he was traumatized from what he had saw. And so finally, he got the one brother got the other brother. They both get their stuff up and they get a flashlight because this apartment, by the way, does not have any running water. There's no lights in this apartment because it's abandoned. And so they get a flashlight and then they go over to the apartment. So Arturo leads the brothers over to the apartment. When they get to the apartment, he ain't going in. Arturo ain't going in. He had to take a step back like this. He was like, oh, I'm not going back up in there. So the brothers, they actually went into the apartment. They got their flashlight out. They open the door and they go look through the apartment. And that's when they went to the body. They went to the body. All right. So, all right. They saw her and they tried to see if she was alive, but she's unresponsive. They didn't know that she had been sitting there for 4 days. They didn't know. All right. So they're trying to first see if this girl is alive. And very quickly, they could tell the girl gone. All right. So that's when they was like, okay, let's call the police. All right. Also, one thing that they noticed was that her, even though, like I said, her face was so badly hurt that it was basically gone, but very specifically her right eye. All right. Now this right eye is going to come back into play when we go down the story. Okay, it's going to go down, come back into play, but I'm telling you, the right eye is a really, really specific point of reference here. Okay. So once again, she did not have a face. That was it. They noticed that there was porcelain all over the floor, like broken porcelain. What is pretty much the only thing in the house that you'll see that has porcelain on it? Who's gonna figure it out? Oh, I forgot about plates. I forgot about teeth. I forgot about the tub. Oh, damn. But a lot of y'all got it right. I forgot about the sink. Oh, gosh. It was the toilet. All right. It was the toilet. And more specifically, it was... More specifically, it was the lid that's on the tank of the toilet. Y'all know where all the water's at? It was the heavy lid. I forgot about towels. Stop answering, all right? Shit, I forgot about a lot of shit. But it was the lid on the water tank on the back of a toilet. That's what ultimately it was, all right? They also saw that there was red bodily fluids everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit too. So once again, after they noticed that she had no pulse, they called 911. And very shortly after, the police showed up and they started their investigation. Here's a couple of things that they saw. Here's a couple of things they noticed about this. So first thing, the last thing that she was seen wearing while she was alive was she had on some black capri pants and a Rob Zombie shirt. Personally, I don't know who Rob Zombie is. I've heard the name a lot. Like, I'm familiar with the name. I've just never looked into it. And I probably should have did that before I got up in here. But she had on this Rob Zombie shirt. Okay? Now, one thing they noticed when the police showed up was that her bra was on top of her Rob Zombie shirt. So the shirt was on and then the bra was on top of the shirt. Okay? Now, keep in mind, at this point in time, they still don't know who this girl is. They still don't know who this girl is, okay? Remember, Arturo, who actually knows Coranne, he's still thinking that it's some older woman. He has no idea who it is. So he actually goes metal singer and he makes movies. Oh, maybe that's what I heard from. I know I've heard the name before. So, he's actually still wondering whatever. When the police get there, they cannot identify her. So they actually had to get a forensic odontologist. I think I'm saying that right, to help identify the body. Now, a forensic odontologist, that is basically a dentist for the police. They are the person they have law enforcement training and they get like dental records and stuff like that. So every time you hear about someone being identified by dental records, that's what they do. It's part of what they do. but they'll get like the order that the thing right there. They'll get the teeth, the dental records, and they can use that to help identify whose it was. So yeah. So since it was dark, once again they had flashlights throughout the apartment because there was no lights, no water, nothing like that. And they found her complete plants. They also found her blue underwear that women wear. I want to just say it because it's not a bad word. It starts with a P, but y'all know TikTok. I just feel like TikTok gonna say something if I say it. But her underwear, blue underwear, they blue underwear, and they found that laying beside it. Okay. So also noticing the porcelain over the floor, they went looking around the apartment to see where the porcelain came from, and they noticed at the back of the lid, the tank cover on the toilet was missing. Okay. Now, I'm about to explain something very gruesome. Once again, I'm going to use words. Be very, very safe with it. If you have a drink, this is the time to drink something. Take a drink. All right. So, they're doing their examination. They have not left the apartment building. They're just looking around right now. And they notice something really weird inside her. Behind her. Have y'all ever seen 13 Reasons Why? What's up, Tony? Watch me work. Have y'all ever seen 13 Reasons Why? So, if you have watched it, you'll understand. If you have not watched it, I do not suggest you watch it because it is, I don't know, that put a whole lot of trauma on us. So, do y'all remember the bathroom scene? Do you remember the bathroom scene? Probably the most gruesome scene out of that entire goddamn show. So, I'm going to try to explain it. You know how for pleasure, people will put random objects in the back door. And in brutal scenes and scenarios, things are forced in the back door. Curtain rods with an S. Meaning, they found multiple, it was 2, curtain rods in the back door. So far inside that they almost were in her chest. Multiple. Also, they saw puncture wounds on her neck. They found puncture wounds on her neck. Okay. They also found puncture wounds in her abdominal area. When they lifted up her shirt, they saw an inverted cross was carved from her chest to her stomach. Yes. Which lets them know, because remember she had the shirt and the bra on, so they let them know that she had no clothes on, and then after all this is done, they put the shirt and bra back on her. Okay? They also saw red bodily fluids, but I told you it was everywhere. There were pentagrams and inverted crosses drawn on the walls in the closet. There was evidence of something called bloodletting being done. There is evidence that So what they also describe, I'm gonna pause a little second. She was alive for most of this. From the 2 curtain rods to the puncture wounds on the neck and the stomach to the inverted cross being carved into her, which the puncture wounds were done by a screwdriver, might I add. When they did their investigation and everything, they said she was most likely alive because they're just based off of red bodily fluids splatter. You can tell where she was trying, where someone was on their hands and knees trying to, the autopsy. Thank you for that word. She was on her hands and knees trying to crawl away from what was happening to her. Yeah. Yeah, she was most likely alive for the entire thing until she finally passed away. Okay. I already told you that they found inverted cross and they found pentagrams and stuff. Remember the eye. She probably wouldn't have survived it all. I wouldn't want to, honestly. You know, that's one of them things where you just pray to God take you home, because I wouldn't want to. But even if I was alive after the fact, just let me go. But also, remember I told you guys about the right eye. Told you the right eye. So, the reason why, well, the face was, like I said, it was gone. But before the rods were put through the back door, they were pushed so hard through the eye that it broke 3 bones going in and almost came out through the left. I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I'm not entirely sure where she finally, was gone. But once again, based on the autopsy, they said she was alive for most of this. She was most likely alive for most of this. And they were able to tell because based off of red bodily fluids inside of her, you can tell that the heart was pumping because of how the red bodily fluids were when puncture wounds were done, when things were inserted, stuff of that nature. So yeah, they were like, the heart was still pumping based on the injury. So yeah, it was that. Yeah. And also because of like the evidence of the of bloodletting and things of that nature, and that really put them on the path where this looks like it was satanic. It was some voodoo witchcraft type stuff going on. All right. And also they did an X-ray, and once again they know that it was one of the rods that was in the eye because the hook at the end of the rod still in there, which you couldn't see just looking, but when you did, yeah. All right, I'm pretty much done. I know this is hard to listen to. I'm almost done. Stay with me. And of course, once again, she was they took advantage of her during this time. There was also some evidence of adult stuff going on. They were teens. All right. Okay. Now I'm done with that. The story, we're past that. They don't make the rest of the story any easier. I'm telling you, it's still Leo's son, 15. Leo's son, 1986, 15. Everybody involved was like 15 or 16. Yeah, like that's, yeah. So anyway, so now Jose. Y'all know one good thing that I can say about not so smart people is that they love to brag. when they do something crazy, they love to brag. I can't tell you how many people would have gotten away with stuff, but they just felt like telling people. I don't know if they unconsciously want to get caught or if they're just stupid, but they do love to brag. So Jose began telling people what he did. Okay, his sister, her name is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Hisel, Hisel, Hisel maybe it's Heisel, I'm not sure, but I think it's Hisel Reyes. So Hisel was over there. Hisel was over there, and also Jose's baby mama, which he had a baby mama, y'all. That means he has a kid. The mother of his kid. I was sitting there like, dang. Let's get back to it. But Jose's sister Hisel, he told her, and his story that he told her, and I'm going to be very, very PG about it, is that he, Victor, and Coranne were decided to all have fun times together. Okay? He was like, yeah, we were. This lamp leaning is bothering me. Don't buy no cheap lamp from Walmart. God dog. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, me, Victor, and Coranne, yeah, me and Victor, we had some hope. We decided to, have fun, so we went over there to have fun. It was my first time. He explains that the bottom was being controlled by Victor and the top was being controlled by him. Now keep in mind, she was so tore up she couldn't walk home. That's why they were helping her to her friend's house. So, yeah. So the bottom of Coranne, top by him. And he said that that's what happened. Good for her though. So yeah, like a carrot. And when this happened, bow, 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 bow. And so that's when she tried to get away. And he said that while he was hurting, she tried to get away. Victor grabbed her and pulled her back. And then took his belt off. Yeah, did that. Then, while he was with a belt, that's when he got the screwdriver and blah, 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 blah. Bria, yes, it is exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Okay? He said that's what happened. Minnie _V, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, when asked why, he said, well, I'm gonna go to the why later on. And it wasn't just because of the bite. It wasn't particularly because of the bite, according to Jose. But we're gonna get to the why later on. So now, Jose's baby mama, her name is Agapita. Or maybe it's Agapito. I think it's Agapita. But she overheard the convo. And she asked, oh, okay, yeah, I'm about to go to her right now. She was like, yo, Jose, why you do this, man? Like, they were not together. This is baby mom, but they're not together. If they were, they have the most open relationship of all time. But she was like, why'd you do this, son? Like, what's going on? And he said that it was because somebody wanted her soul. keep in mind, in this statement, he said somebody wanted her soul. That particular statement is going to change up a few times, but let's keep going. So now he has some other friends. His friend is named Leo, and Leo has a girlfriend named Miranda. So Leo and Miranda, they picked up Jose. They picked up Jose from Kroger one day, and they were just all chilling and whatever. And they were like, you know what? Let's go hang out with another group of friends that we know, and we're all just gonna like rap and chill out and stuff. Okay? So he's out. So at this point, he told his sister, he told his baby mama. Now he's with his another friend of his called Leo and his friend's girlfriend Miranda. They went to this place with a group of other friends, and everybody was rapping. Everybody, you know, they just rapping. Which honestly, I didn't know Mexican people got together and rap. But okay, well, not I ain't gonna say Mexican, Latino people, because I don't know if they were Mexican. They could have been anything else. But you know what I mean? Like I didn't know they got together and rap. But you know, cool, whatever. I mean, in this case, suck. But whatever. So everybody's rapping, everybody's doing their thing. They got music going, probably around a fire or a sombrero or something. And now we get down to Jose's turn. Now Jose gets up in there, and I'm going to read you what he said. I'm going to, once again, y'all know I'm going to have to change some words because of us TikTok. But okay, he goes, this was literally what he said. You can find this quote, this rap, on the internet. Which, by the way, I don't know how the hell they remember this whole thing, because who the hell remembers a freestyle? Who the hell remembers a freestyle unless they was recording? That'd be the only way I can think of, because I was like, that's a long ass thing to be. Let me keep going. So he goes, it was my. I'm saying, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. It's disrespectful. But you know what? I'll put this on so you guys have a little context. It was my first time, so my homie showed me the ropes, and we ran a choo-choo on this 304. Y'all know the word. Then my homie grabbed the belt, and he started her. And the bitch said, "Why you doing this?" And we told her to shut the fuck up. And then we mink, mink, her. And then she tried to run. And we grabbed her and we started her. And she asked us why. And we said, we're helping you to sell our souls. Those are direct quotes. Those are direct quotes, y'all. Then he also stated in this rap as well that Victor, and this is another direct quote, Victor said, let's K-word, unalive the bitch. Victor. This young old fat bitch look over here on the other side. Him. So yeah, now when he told these people that, because remember they having a rap battle. When he told it, the whole room got quiet. The whole room got quiet. So Leo, and you know, thank God for Leo and Miranda, because they actually reported, they told the police almost immediately after this. And the reason why they told the police, they was like, yo, when he was saying this, he was like, when he was saying this, it didn't seem like it was made up. He said that was too specific. Like, you know how rappers always talking about, yeah, I got me a body, yeah. He was like, it didn't even sound like that. It sounded like something he actually did. And then it was also solidified when they learned about the disappearance of Coranne. And so, yeah, so immediately after this, Leo and Miranda, they went and told the police. Now, I skipped actually a little bit of something. Remember, I told you that Jose had told his sister and his baby mama, Agapita, had actually overheard, and she asked him why. He was laughing while he told her. And he showed her pictures of the middle, while it was of of the 3-person thing going on. He showed her pictures. And the girlfriend, and she listened to the story, and she said she didn't believe it. She was like, the story that he told her was so weird and so off the wall. She didn't believe him. Yes, he I didn't get your name, but yes, took pictures, not of the after. I don't think of the after, but definitely of the during, before the carrot was bit, and before the ending. Yeah. He took a picture and he showed his baby mama, and she didn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. She was like, that don't even seem right. Yeah. So Leo and told the police, and Agapita, the baby mama, when she found out about Coranne going missing, and when they broke the news that she was gone, that's when she started to believe this nigga was telling the truth. So she eventually went to the police as well. Was it bit off? I don't think it was bit off, but it was bit. So it wasn't Lorena Bobbitt. It wasn't Lorena Bobbitt, but it was definitely, there was some teeth involved. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Agapita. Well, before I go back to Agapita, I forgot. Jose also rapped. Once again, I don't know how to remember this rap verbatim. Jose also rapped. He said, I'm not going to put that on. He said, her, y'all know S word, her, while we was having relations with her, and the devil told him to do it. This is in the rap. This ain't a confession. He was rapping this. That the devil told him to do it. That the devil told him to do it. So now Agapita when Agapita finally went to the police, when she went to the police, she said that Jose had upside down crosses and pentagrams and 666 written on items and carved into wood and stuff all over his house. And I'm sitting like, y'all, you knew this though. You knew this. I'm all for letting people believe whatever they want to believe. Y'all know this. But there's the one religion, I'm sorry, I don't think I can, I know I'm never going to be cool with, and that's devil worship. I wouldn't care if people wanted to worship trees or cows or unicorns. I truly don't care. That stuff don't bother me at all. Like, whatever, do you. But when it comes, why would you want to do that? That's like, even if you don't, it's like just the connotation of what the devil represents. It's just so evil. Even if you think, even if you believe the devil is a good guy, whatever. His pictures are terrifying. They're terrifying. He's got titties and the head of a goat, and he's always on skeletons and stuff with hooves. It's terrifying. Why would you want to do that? And you know, I will admit, I don't know. I don't have a full understanding of it. I don't have a full understanding of you know, what all goes into it. But still, it seems a little. And y'all know, I'm cool with everybody. I'm whatever. You know, I'm a Christian. All right. I'm a Christian. And the Bible said, "Thou shalt not judge." I ain't judging nobody. All right, because Lord knows the Christians, especially in the past, done did some crazy crap in the name of God. Even though God ain't told them to do that shit, they just did it and said God said do it. And so I can't speak. I can't speak on atrocities. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Terrible stuff. So they found pictures on a phone. About was found 4 days later. He said that the devil told him to do it. When he got to trial, he kept saying that it was the devil. The devil wanted him to, do it. It was when he got tried. He said it was to sell his soul to the devil. But remember, he had told her that he was going to sell her soul. Well, he told his sister the baby mom, that it was to sell. Somebody wanted her soul, and then in the rap, he said that he told her that he telling that we're in the rap. We're helping you to sell our souls. And then he got to court and said, I had to do it to sell my soul. So, I don't know. I don't know. And even at this point, I'm not going to. He was weird. At 15 years old, he decided the devil. Y'all know the devil is a lie, right? Oh, shabba, yeah, shabba. Let me stop playing. God forgive me, I'm sorry. But y'all, for real. So anyway, they got to court, and because they were all under the age of 18, right? They could not be charged. No, they could not be charged with the unlawful penalty because this happened in Clear Lake, Texas. All right, they could not be tried under the as adults. Well, they were not tried as adults, so they were not given the ended all sentence, and they were not given life without the possibility of parole. So because they were under the age of 18, they were like 15, 16 years old. Because of this, they were given life, but according to law, and I believe this is a national law, I don't think this is just state law, but according to law, if you're under the age of 18, you have to be given some sort of parole. There's law. If I'm correct. Yeah, there's law. So they got parole 40 years, man. 40 years. This happened in 2014, y'all. That means that they are eligible for parole in 2054. 2054. 2054. Crazy, right? They're eligible for parole in 2054. They're in prison now, thank God. But it's crazy, y'all. He said the devil told him to do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. And the crazy thing is, none of this would have happened. And I'm not victim blaming. Lord knows I'm not victim blaming right now. Has she just stayed home? Like her dad told her to, because she skipped school. I didn't, Wacky, you asked what happened to the dad. I did not look much into the dad, but I can assume that he probably lost his shit. Because, the last thing he told her, stay home, you grounded, do not come out of this room. And she decided, I'm going to do what I want to do. And unfortunately, it put her in a position where she just had a lot of bad influence. Because not only did she not stay where she was, but then she advocated to take the medicine that really put her down. Then she mixed the medicine with liquor, which exasperated the effects of the medicine. Yeah. And yeah, I can also imagine Arturo, because remember, Arturo was her friend, but when he found her body, he didn't know that it was her because it was being so bad. I can imagine the stuff that was going through his head when he realized that it was Coranne. He probably was like, what the? Like I'm saying, the dad probably lost it. I believe Candy technically had nothing to do with it, but as an adult, she shouldn't have letting them kids come over her house. As an adult, she should have made sure that that girl got somewhere safe. But she was probably sitting there thinking They're just gonna walk her. They're in the same apartment building. They're just gonna walk her to the apartment. They probably, she probably wasn't thinking, yeah, she probably wasn't thinking they're gonna do this crap, and the other person who just, let me see who said that. Let me see that. Silly little one, like you, Randy. Because Randy got picked up by the mom and told Jose and Victor, he was like, hey, take her home. He didn't know, because Randy left before she made the decision to go to her friend Jocelyn's house. So Randy left. He knew they were gonna take her home because she stayed in apartments right down the street, like nearby. It wasn't like they were taking her all over the world, so she could walk there. And so the last thing he knew is he told him to take him home. He left. Candy, I still, like I said, Candy, she may not have intentionally, prison is filled with a lot of people who had good intentions, who unintentionally did something, who didn't try to hurt people. There are a lot of people in prison who pulled out too quick in traffic and got somebody, taken out, who got medicine mixed up and stuff like that. So I'm not going to just absolutely just dog on Candy, but as an adult, you got to do better. You shouldn't have been letting kids come over your house like that in the first place. Okay? Silly little one said, meanwhile, Jocelyn was waiting for her friend to show up. Silly little one, I'm not sure if she had already communicated with Jocelyn that she was coming, or if it was just, I'm just going to show up and Jocelyn's going to let me in. I don't know how that scenario was going to go, but imagine. And I'm going to be honest, out of all the stories that I have done, that was actually probably not the hardest, but it's one of the hardest that I've done. This one was really, that was deep. And even despite all the information I told y'all, there is so much more information on this case. And it was just like, yeah, it just got worser and worser. And yeah, dog. Boo-boo. Yes, I do have a very condensed version of this story on my TikTok page already. I have a slightly longer with slightly more details on my YouTube. But once again, I want to talk to you guys about this story because it was just so much. And I couldn't really give all the details in either one. And I know here I could cater it more, by mixing up words and changing. I could cater it more doing it live now that I figure out how to kind of work it. But yeah, you putting this on YouTube. Eventually, I ain't going to say tonight, but yes, this was heavy. All right, as promised, we have another story. The outcome of the second story, you guys. The outcome of the second story is going to piss you off. Is it a palate cleanser? No. Because the second story is dealing with a kid. It's dealing with a kid. I could not find, y'all know, it's true crime. Crime is not something to just joke about. It ain't a light subject. And I could not lighten neither one of these stories. I could not make these stories any lighter than they could be. Especially that story we just did. God, no, I don't, honestly, after the day, I don't want to think about this story no more. Like, golly. But, we need a palate cleanse. A palate cleanse. Oh, all right. So this ain't crime, but I'm going to tell you something funny that happened to me before we get into the next story, okay? And I promise you guys, I'm not racist. I have to say that and that sounds so bad. I'm not racist. All right, but I had to call Xfinity. I don't know if I already told y'all this, but I had to call Xfinity because something was going on with my internet. I think I was trying to pay a bill, and Xfinity, they changed the app. And because they changed the app, I couldn't log in on the app no more. And so I tried calling, and I got that doggone automated system that won't let you do nothing. And so I was just sitting there on the automated system, and Terry D, I'm going to tell you the names in just a second. I was sitting on the automated system, And I was on there, and I was trying to get to it, and the automation system was messing up. So I was like, customer service, customer service, customer service. And finally, someone answered the phone. And then when they answered the phone, the lady on there, I kid y'all not, this is what happened. She said, hi, my name is such and such. Thank you for calling. And that's how it sounded, just like that. Hi, my name is such. No, thank you for calling. And I said, oh my God, an American? Oh, thank God. So I finally got an American in here. Woo! Y'all know what her next words were. Thank you for calling Xfinity. How can I help you? I said, yeah. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, this bitch switch up. She did that on purpose. Because how you go from an American accent to a thank you? It wasn't even it was a thank you. Thank you for calling Xfinity. I was on the phone. I was so pissed. I said, ugh. I ain't even apologize. I couldn't. What do you say to that? I was just like, ugh. Yeah, I need help paying my bill. Yes. All right. Thank you for that hat. Thank you. And y'all look. Sometimes I just want to talk to someone without me. I'm half deaf. If y'all didn't know this, I'm literally half deaf. I'm supposed to be wearing hearing aids. They told me this since I was like 12 years old. Then it's so much harder for me to hear stuff, which if you may not notice, that's the reason why I talk really loud. Like I talk loud, and if I ever talk to you, I'm never going to look at you in your eyes. I'm always looking at your mouth, because if I did this and listen to you talk, I wouldn't understand nothing you say to me. So it's already harder for me to understand it. Plot twist, she was American but didn't want to talk to you. You know what, Bria? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she said it because she was like, this racist nigga. And she put on the heaviest accent she could. But anyway, are you ready for more unaliving? Let me pull up the man's picture. Here. So, today we're going to talk about, or for the second part, we're going to talk about, the first story, let me tell you the first story's name again. Because someone wanted to look it up. This is Jose Reyes. This is Victor Alas, maybe it's Alice, A-L-A-S. And this is Coranne Cervantes. Maybe it's Cervantes. I think it's Cervantes. Coranne. But the main character is Jose Reyes. If you want to look up anything, because the devil was talking to him. Okay. All right, so now to the second story. Second story. Y'all ready for the second story? Are you ready for the second story? All right. This story is shorter. Yes, it's a shorter story. I'm not going to be as graphic with this one. I'm going to tell you what happened, but I'm not going to be as graphic. Okay? This is a shorter story. This may be like 15, 20 minutes. We're talking about David I don't know how to pronounce his last name, y'all. It's like Creato? Maybe it's Creato? Because I thought it was Creteo, but it's Create with an O at the end. So maybe it's Creato Jr. He was 22. Look at this picture and tell me how old you would have thought this man was. I would have said 40. I'm telling y'all, evil people age like milk. Like milk. Nice people age so gracefully. They can be 90 and they just look beautiful. But when you are dead inside, like milk. And my late Courtney, you're late for the first story because it's done, but we just started the second story. So yeah, He was 22 at the time. All right. So now, in the beginning of 2010, or in the 2010s, David was in a relationship with this woman. Her name was Samantha Denoto. This is not Samantha. This is not Samantha. We're going to introduce her in just a second. But he was in a relationship with Samantha Denoto. So he and Samantha, you know, they were together. Everything was all good. Oh, they were just so in love. And so they did the horizontal tango and they popped out a child. The child that they popped out is Brendan. This is Brendan down here at the bottom. Brendan was born around 2012. And yeah, he was just it. Now, shortly after Brendan was born, David and Samantha, their relationship, like all things, as soon as you have a kid, oh, this doesn't work out. Let's just be single parents. They broke up. You know, I really wish people would wait. I mean, I can't tell people how to do nothing. Lord knows I can't. I ain't judging nobody for nothing. I just hate how a lot of times, I don't know, it just seems like a child is a lot much more commitment. Let me shut up. Let me just keep going. Anyway, so they had a son named Brandon. All right. Sometimes y'all can just tell me this. Y'all can just say straight, shut up. And I listen. I've gotten cussed out of my DMs before, and all I respond is, yes, ma'am. I get it. Sometimes I talk without thinking. I'm sorry. All right. So, yeah, the relationship, it failed, and they were both left, you know, taking care of the child. Okay? And they were doing the co-parenting thing. Now, from my understanding of the co-parenting, Samantha actually had him the majority of the time. And he got weekends like every other weekend. So, like twice a month, he would have Brendan. Which, in my opinion, is no... First off, if you're going to be a parent, why not do half and half? I never understood that. Why would you have a child and you're okay with only spending like a weekend every 2 weeks? That makes no sense to me. Like, I don't know. But anyway, so Brandon, he was at the time 22. And he was like, oh, you know, the problem is, I know my relationship failed. My relationship failed is because we were the same age. I need a young bitch. So he went and found this ditzy hoe. Her name, which I had to do research to find her name because she was underage. Nobody published her name. But your boy found it. Her name is Julia Stensk. Almost like stench, but Stensk. Okay? So, Julia. You see her picture. It looks like a high school graduation photo. But yeah, because she was probably in high school at the old spinster age of 17. She came across David, and decided she wanted an older man. She wanted an older man. You know, somebody who she can, you know, threaten with police intervention. If she can threaten with statue. What's it? Oh goodness. If anything went south. So yeah, and he saw her. He was like, I still got it. I can still pull high school girls. Yeah. Now, David was with, what's the girl name is? Julia. David was Julia. And every other weekend, he's getting Brendan. Now, Brendan, at the time of the event, Brendan was about 3 years old. I don't know if he was special needs. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he was. There was nothing that stated that he was. So I'm going to assume that he was normal. Or, you know, he did not have special needs. But Julia didn't like him. she was like, I'm only a couple years older than this nigga. I don't want to hang around him. And she constantly made this fact aware to David. She told David all the time. She was, they'd be hanging out. And once again, it was every other weekend. So she was like, oh, daddy, I want to feel you on my arms this weekend. And he was like, sure, young thing. But I got to get my son. And she was like, oh, dang it. I don't know if I want that. Because really, they were really close in age. I think about it. She's 14 years older than him. Crazy. She was like, I don't know if I want that. And their relationship started to sour. Because even though he was only with his son for every other weekend, she was like, that's too much. There can't be two children in this relationship. Only one. And David, he wanted to save his relationship with this girl who was probably in high school. Y'all, she was probably in high school. Okay? Gosh. So, she got upset and she was told him that she was thinking about breaking up with him. She was like, I don't think this is going to work. And y'all thought I was joking when I was like, she was like, there can't be two children in this relationship. I was only partly joking on that. Like, she literally was like, I don't like this. I don't like that you take care of your son. I don't want to be a part of this relationship. And I mean that literally. Literally. And so, instead of him being an adult, he was like, dang, I wonder how I'm going to fix the situation. The last 4 months leading up to the big event, he and her, they were constantly fighting. He sent over 9,000 text messages to this girl. They had over 9,000 text messages in the space of like 4 months. 4 months. Y'all, I don't think I sent 9,000 text messages in a year. Thank you for that cat. No cap. And it was to her. So, October the 13th of 2015. Now, let's go ahead and get to the story. It's 6 p.m. Excuse me, 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. They're at the police doing policey things. And they get a phone call. And it is David. David's on the line. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray, for them roses. That's so Ray. So the police get a phone call and it's David. David's on the phone and the police, they go, 911, what's your emergency? David gets on the phone and he tells the police, he's like, yo, I just woke up and my son's not in the house. Where's my son? And the police were like, well, we don't know where the hell your son is, but we'll come over there and look. And so the police go over there. He's telling the police, like, the door's locked. Maybe he opened the door and left in the middle of the night. This is what he tells the police. I'm going to tell y'all his theory in just a little bit. I'm going to tell his theory, and y'all, I'm telling you, it's going to piss you off. But he tells the police, like, yeah, maybe he left in the middle of the night. He unlocked the door, this 3-year-old child, which it happens. There are many times children got up in the middle of the night, just opened the door and walked out. My nephew has done this so much that my brother, they actually, on top of locking the door, they have to put this big ass dresser, like this cabinet in front of the front door, because he'll just walk up there, unlock the door at least 2 times. And I'm like, y'all gonna have to do better than it. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say that because CPS may come up in here like, what the hell? So never mind. I'm lying. I'm a liar. Anyway, so he told the police that maybe he's like, maybe the son just got up in the middle of the night and just walked up out the house. And the police like, okay, whatever, we're gonna look. So they start this massive Bria says CPS in the chat. CPS, I don't know what y'all over here for. I'm a liar. I ain't never told the truth a day in my life. So there's this massive search party that goes out. So they got this small neighborhood association. They're all looking. The police are looking. They're putting these alerts all over, like the channels for missing children and all type of stuff like that. And they searched for 3 hours. 3 hours later, they found Brendan. They did find him. He was in Cooper River Park, 8 blocks away. And he had some trauma. So now, what they were able to tell, Brendan was blue. They also saw evidence that fingers were wrapped around fingers were wrapped. They found evidence, fingers wrapped. There was also some trauma. There was, I believe, a broken collarbone, or it was like kind of cracked. Yeah. So they immediately start off in their little investigation. They go back to the house and they looking at his story. And once again, like I told y'all, I'm not gonna go into great detail about this particular story. I'm just not gonna do that. But they were able to discover that. So they go back to the house and they start looking around to figure out, how could he have gotten out? Like maybe someone broke in the house or something. They didn't see any evidence of a break-in. They were trying to figure out. So it seemed like the door was open and maybe he just walked. But it was 8 blocks away. 3-year-old. And that's one thing that like I said, it has happened, all right? Children have done this. Those with mental disabilities and those without mental disabilities. Children are curious. They just want to wander around. So, whatever. But 8 blocks is a long way for a 3-year-old. So, on October the 22nd of 2015, they went ahead and they had services set up for Brendan. So, this happened on the 13th when he got, the police got the phone call. So, we're looking at about... the 22nd is 7 days later? 9 days later? When they had services for him. After whatever. The mom, remember, is Samantha Denota. She actually has set up a GoFundMe to help cover funeral costs and, XYZ, things of that nature. Now, everybody started, regulated goods content. So my live just got restricted. Reason for regulated goods content. Submit feedback. Alright. So I'm still in this bitch. But yeah. I told y'all TikTok does not like me. They don't like me at all. But anyway. So everybody's, they're still doing their investigation. He starts talking to the mom, Samantha. He starts talking to Samantha, and, they're throwing around some ideas of what could have happened. Y'all want to know what his theory was? You know what he told his baby mom what happened? His theory was a spirit of the lake snuck into the house, lured Brendan out of bed, and coaxed his son to walk 8 blocks down the road to the river park. La Llorona. Exactly. You know what? They didn't say a name, but what if he did say that? Because the one that La Llorona, she was luring kids because her kids passed away. Yeah, that's what he said. And so they, obviously Samantha didn't believe that, but that was his story. He told police officers this when they were doing the investigation. He told Samantha this. He was like, yeah, I believe a spirit lured him. It was a spirit. It was a demon. Or La Llorona. Now, Julia, let's go to Julia here. The high school girly girl. So she's over here. And they asked her about David. And she was like, I gotta put this on. Hold on. Yeah. She goes, yeah, David was paranoid and kind of broke. He got on there, she got on there and told him that he was paranoid and kind of broke. She also told them that having a child was, these are direct quotes, y'all, was an aspect of his life that I was not very happy with. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Actually, I don't blame her. I'm not going to blame her. I know I'm kind of just talking shit right now, but I don't blame her. First off, the girl was 17. The dude that she's talking with has a kid. And she said it was an aspect of his life that I was not very happy with. She did not want to be associated with a man with a kid at the age of 17. I'm not against it. I'm not against somebody say, well, she was 12. I'm not against it. All right? If she was older, had kids, maybe I would have been like, but whatever. But she was literally a child herself. So that aspect, out of everything else, was probably the smartest thing, to not get associated with someone who has a kid. I have 2 restrictions. Oh, wow. Yeah. So anyway, so they also realized that David was stalking Julia. He actually was stalking her social media accounts the 12 hours before he decided to do the deed. Harassment and bullying. A third one? Oh, God. Y'all, I got a third thing here. This live is probably just about to be shut off. I'm about to I'm about to go out and go back in before they shut this, because if I get suspended, that's gonna be one thing. Peace out.